France has denied the findings of a UN investigation into an airstrike in central Mali in January that concluded that French aircraft had killed 19 civilians. In a statement on Tuesday, the ministry said that it maintained French armed forces carried out an airstrike targeting an armed terrorist group identified as such. The French military denies any wrongdoing and says that two of its Mirage 2000 fighter jets dropped 3 bombs on a group of 40 armed Islamist fighters, 30 of whom died. This is the second time this year that France has been blamed for killing non-combatants in Operation Barkhane, its fight against militants in Africa's Sahel region. The statement added that the ministry had reservations about the method used to carry out the UN probe. France has been embroiled in Mali's conflict since 2013, when it intervened to push back Islamist militants who were advancing south after seizing the desert north. Well, Mali has been plagued by a brutal conflict that began as a separatist movement in the north, but has developed into a multitude of armed groups jockeying for control in the country's central and northern regions. The insecurity has spread across arid scrublands of the Sahel into Burkina Faso and Niger, inflaming tensions between ethnic groups. To get an understanding of the fragile security situation in the country, we've invited Kassoum Coulibaly, who's a rights activist and social entrepreneur based in Mali, and he joins us now via Zoom. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
All right, so tell us a little bit more about what this decision means. Is this something that people in the country had suspected, that the French were guilty?
Yes, of course. You know, this attack happened on January 3rd when a group of people organized a marriage near the center of Mali. And they received 3 bombs from the Air Force of France. And at that point, the French forces said that it is not a marriage. These are people who are being convened by rebels and trying to attack the people. But when the people who are investigating from the civil society organization and human rights organization, they already said that this is not true. And the government itself supported what the French Force said, that about they killed terrorists. But people are suspecting that there is no truth on that issue. And they are waiting to see the real facts when investigation came from the UN system today. And people are very sad that we said that at January that this is a killing, action made by the France, which is not people who are terrorists, they are civilians. And people are very frustrated today about this news today. And they are very happy also because for the first time, the UN security MINUSMA in Mali have done a very, very good job to make truth happen in this situation.
Tell us a little bit about what this might mean for France and Mali's relations, because this isn't the first time that the French are accused of killing civilians.
Yes, this is the first time. But, sometimes the relation between Mali and France is a bit, not in the right way people or citizens of Mali are waiting it to be. And honestly, I think that this cannot be something that can stop the cooperation between Mali and France. Maybe they can be able to get a situation where they can revise their plan of acting in this conflict in Mali. Because you don't remember that 2 days ago, a group of military came from Niger and came to support the fight against terrorists. I think that there is a link between the two things, and I'm suspecting that France will decide to take off one foot in this situation in Sahel region.
So could this just have been a failure in intelligence by French, or sometimes what we see is these militants hide amongst civilians and use them as human shields?
This is not the first time that population and activists and independent security investigators are saying that people of France are killing civilians. This is not the first time. Since 2013 to now, there is a lot of occasion where we say that there is no civilian killed by the army of France. But this is the first time we have a full investigation made by more than 15 international investigators from the MINUSMA and also from international support from the United Nations. And they meet at least 115 people individually and more than 200 people on the ground to discuss, to understand. And they have read and understand this issue from more than 100 publications about this issue. So this is a professional work done by MINUSMA, and France cannot continue to say that. We insist and say that we are killing terrorists, not than civilians. So I find that we need to recognize this mistake and continue to work and to support the army of Mali and Sahel region to fight against terrorists themselves. Because people are saying most of the time the rebels are killing civilians, and the French army is not from those people. They don't kill these terrorists, and it's very sad to see they are killing civilians over killing terrorists. This is something very sad for the population of Mali.
And talking about support, the challenge for Mali is that they can't do this alone, and they do need the help of France. So perhaps an apology from the French might be enough to fix this problem?
Yes, an apology from France can be something for the common, the population, because people are becoming, to protest against the presence of France in Mali and Sahel region in general. I find that when we want to win the good faith between the two populations and the two nations, I think that this apology can be something very good for the hurt of Malian people and also for the Sahel people in general. But what I think that exactly France should do is to see exactly how they can support the army of Mali and the army of Sahel region to be capable to fight against terrorists. We need to give them information from the intelligence services, and from ourselves, we can contribute to eradicate this terrorism and jihadism among Sahel region, and we will be focused on our sustainable development, our good life in that region forever. So this is what we are waiting, and we are most waiting from France and over international organizations who are supporting Mali to recovery in that situation. And when we are in the transition period right now, I think that this is the right time France can do this apology and continue to work closely to protect civilian population and to end terrorism for definitely in Mali and also in the Sahel region. When we see what happened in Niger was last days, is very, very sad for all of the people living in Sahel region.
Do we have any idea how a mistake like this could have happened? And I'm asking because if there isn't an understanding, then it may happen again.
For us, it's difficult to understand with all of the means, technology means that France can have over international partners of Mali like US, like MINUSMA itself. How can this can happen? How can France can see hundreds of people who are doing the marriage festival, kill them, and they cannot see jihadists, hundreds of jihadists or 200 of jihadists using their motorbikes for a long space in the desert and running to kill civilian people. They cannot see those people inside the region. This is something difficult to understand for the population. I think that to avoid that, I think that France can focus really on fighting against the terrorists, and this cannot happen. And as a human rights defender, we cannot accept this kind of behavior and mistake coming from France, which we suppose as a professional and international recognized army that can be able to fight against terrorists in Sahel region.
Mon frère, as usual, thank you so much indeed for joining us and giving us your valuable insights on the situation in your country. Take care. À bientôt.
Merci beaucoup. Merci.
All right, that's Kassoum Coulibaly giving us an update on the situation in Mali. French troops that are assisting Mali accused and found guilty, found wanting for the death of 19 civilians at a wedding party earlier this year.